What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 13. This ain't the playground. As we know, and I've been saying it for the last two past episodes, this is where, this is when we realize that they made their cuts. They have made their cuts, and we're here now. It is what it is at this point. So the episode starts with Toya and Eugene. She asked did he check on anybody. I'm again meaning Dr. Greg, which he can definitely go to the nearest slow take the nearest slow fall to hell because he is disgusting. And so Eugene was like, no, I didn't want to just bother anybody. I wanted, I'm sure I'm a person that like the process. So I was like, maybe he needed to process what happened. I just wanted to give him some time. So he felt like, basically they needed to take a little break. So Toya feels like everyone should have reached out to see if, they were okay. Now, I will say this. Toya has been top tier this season. And I will say this, even her making at the end, making that choice, I think she was doing what was best for TV. What was best for their group. And I think had she went against that decision, she would probably be on a chopping block next. She would probably be on an icing out next season. But Toya, we like Toya. I know a lot of people don't. I don't know why. I knew she was always messy. But I mean, y'all will get to it. So, Quad goes over to Heavenly's house and talk about the couple's trip. Heavenly feels like G and Sweet Tea needs to go, and they need some time away. Basically, they can go because now we want Quad and King back, and we no longer have any use for Sweet Tea or Dr. G. So, Toya, we go back to Toya house. She wants to do an event for her anniversary party. So she wants everybody to come out to a ballroom practicing and so she can let everybody know what's going on. Toya actually wants to include everybody. She wants everybody to, to get to a better space because we are a group. I guess they are a group of friends. And I say I guess because these women are two-faced, okay? So we back over at Heavenly's and her and Quad talking. Quad says she is going to have a ladies' night and she's not inviting T or Phaedra. And I would like to know, what did Phaedra do to you? Because it ain't no different. Phaedra just went along with what they wanted to do to you. What they have done to you. They have iced you out and pushed you out. This was them telling you that they are sorry for what they've done. So even though we're not going to, these women never held themselves accountable. What they did was made it seem like it was more of Dr. G and Sweet Tea. And, sorry, y'all, know it was my phone. Sorry. Oh. That was Miss Misha, y'all. Listen, go follow her. I really love her channel. I don't know this lady. This lady don't know me, but I think she's funny. So shout out to Miss Misha. Anyway, I think them making G and Sweet Tea the problem, in order, I don't know. It was just how they did this whole thing. This is them apologizing to Quad. I just feel like they have done enough. And Quad didn't do anything. I just feel like she didn't deserve how they treated her. I'm not a big fan of Quad, but I will say how they handled her, that wasn't okay. And that's why Quad is always distant from the group, because there's this level of acceptance that she's always wanted that she's never gotten from them. And I really felt bad for her, what they did and how they did it and how they tried to ice her out. But now, it it's just all conniving. It is. I'm anyway. At this point, we know Feifei won't be returning, so they're definitely icing. They're basically giving T and her stupid ass husband his walking papers. I can't stand him. I can't. There is nothing I have nice to say about him at all. So everyone arrives at the dance studio. We see Dr. Karen and Anila. And we really don't need her back either. Like, we could have just took Dr. Karen and kept her home doing whatever. So they tell Toya that Quad isn't coming to Toya's ballroom dancing event, and she says she's not coming without King. So I think Quad feels more safer with King around her if Dr. G or if Dr. G is going to be there. So Toya gives them an invite, and she is doing a Bridgerton style party. And I actually thought her invitations was really, really cute. Now, is it me or did they shade her? The doctors shaded her invitation. Like Simone was like, AI has done a really good job. Heavenly said, we know she can't write. And I'm like, I thought this lady was educated too. I think Toya has a degree. She's just not a doctor. Again, it's the y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot with these women. Anyway, so Contessa tells the group that there may be a possible restraining order, and at this point, I kind of side-eyed Contessa because I thought these people were your friends, but maybe production put Contessa up to this, and maybe Contessa was like, I felt like Contessa was like, listen, I'm just telling y'all that there is a possible restraining order. Which, why would you put a restraining order on somebody that you initiated this? Now, I will say this. None of this wouldn't have started if we're going to start at the beginning. None of this wouldn't have started if Quad wouldn't have never piped up. She got drunk and said whatever she needed to say. If she would have kept her composure, I don't think any of this would have happened. But that's just my take if we're going to start from the beginning. So, but I still feel like what he did was trifling. Like, why would you? He didn't touch you. But because you can't insert your dominance on this grown man, you only do it to women, right? That's what make you a BAN. Okay? I ain't gonna say it on here. But that's what make you a whole B word. So Damon stands by Dr. King. Not Dr. King. Damon stands by King's side, and he said it didn't happen like that. Of course you would. You would stand by him because when you asked Gregory, have you cheated? He told you, I don't know. And ever since then, you have had it out for him. Point blank in the period. I'm still saying Dr. G is wrong. But your reasoning, Dr. Damon, you keep saying, because I wouldn't let nobody handle my wife and yada, yada, yada. But you have been friends with the same, very, very same guys like Cecil who have gotten into it with your wife. So, again, you can miss me with that, Dr. Damon. You're just still pissed off because Dr. G didn't say what it is that you needed him to say in that last reunion. And you have held on to that. You a quiet one, but you were a slick quiet one. But that's all I'm going to say. I get it. And I feel like every man should protect the woman that they love. Every man should protect the woman that they love. So Eugene says, in his confessional, he says he felt like nothing serious has happened. So he feel like King and Dr. G can actually sort these things out. Also, Simone said that Dr. G, what he did was a move. I agree. I do not like Simone. I don't see it for Simone, but I do agree. So Jackie and Dr. Curtis, everybody dancing at this point, trying to get the steps in, and Jackie and Curtis just looking crazy. And I'm like, okay, now we can let this be Jackie Walton's last season. Okay, so Tisha, Toya, and Mimi, they meet up for lunch, and she gives Tisha her invite to the anniversary party. This says abuse all over it. So Toya asked Letitia about the report, and she said that's between her and Gregory. Basically, you just got to mind your business. So Toya says Tisha sometimes can no longer be Tisha, and that Tisha has done her fair share of BS. She tells Toya when she's they talk about establishing boundaries between her talking to Dr. G about establishing boundaries with Quad having a conversation with him. She told Toya, I have talked to Dr. G. And she was like, well, what did he say? Well, he gets upset. And he does. Because he don't want to hear nothing. He don't want to hear nothing from his current wife about establishing boundaries with his ex-wife, because he wants to stand on being pissed off at this woman for whatever reason, which is stupid to me. Move on. You already married. Move on. So Toya asked if she wanted the group to fight for her. Toya asked Tisha if she wanted the group to fight for her. And they're not going to fight for her. They're not. You keep saying the group, but these women don't see it for her. They don't want her around. They've already made that very clear. They used her. They utilized. T was damaged goods. Her husband wanted to come on the show so he can flex on Quad. They wanted to flex on Quad. They wanted to get rid of Quad. So what do? We bring the person and his wife on the show. And so when they realized Quad wasn't going nowhere, guess what they had to do? Well, we don't have use for you. And so the damage has already been done to Sweet Tea. They have brought her on. They didn't need her no more, so they discarded her. And coupled with the fact that she doesn't go along with them. She says what she wants. She goes against the grain and she fights them. And that's not enough. That's not enough. So she's problematic. She has been deemed problematic since she's been on this show. Like, I really don't understand. Because the people who are problematic is the same person who brought her best friend to Hilton Head, where she knew that this man husband, did some dirt. But Sweet Tea is problematic. Heavenly brought on a man and his wife. Although Quad is supposed to be your friend, you brought a man and his wife, the man who abused said friend, his current wife, to a show where his ex-wife worked. But T is problematic. You brought Apollo, another abuser, and his mistress / wife onto a show where his wife is, even though you may have told Phaedra, but that's because you knew to tell Phaedra. You wouldn't have just did that to Phaedra. Any of the other girls, you just did it to Quad. Welcomed this lady in, went out with this lady, did all of the things. Because there is this level of respect that you do not have for Quad. Because again, she's not a doctor. So you bring on Apollo, and it doesn't even matter because Apollo shouldn't even been there. I don't care if you asked her or not. I don't care what her response was. You still brought him on to piss her off because you felt insulted by her. You felt like she wasn't giving enough. But you don't give. You stir up a lot of shit. Sorry. And you've never given anything. We don't know anything about you. If we gonna be all the way clear, we don't know anything about you. But you talk about everybody else. So I just felt that's kind of weird. But this lady over here, this young girl over here, is problematic. More problematic than y'all. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know, y'all. So T tells her, hey, if you want to choose, you can choose. And I want to say this. And Dr. Mimi was kind of chiming in and, trying to smooth it out in a psychiatrist type of way. And Dr. Mimi, listen, I get that you're a psychiatrist, but that's not what everybody need all the time. But I get it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Sometimes we need a voice of reason. Um, but I will say, this lady is catching hell from every end, from her husband and from these ladies on the show. Now, I will commend Toya for always having Sweet Tea's back, and she have. How they fell out, what they fell out for, I don't know. But at some point, y'all, this lady got to be tired. Like, there has to be a level of, this lady has got to be exhausted. But her main exhaustion comes from her husband. She give, and I said this last week to Heavenly's point, the smoke that you give to the women, you need to be giving that to your husband. I sure hope she leaves him. Sometimes, I said this last week, sometimes the blessing is in the breakup. Anyway, Scott Eugene talked with Greg. Greg says nobody reached out to him. Greg, please go to hell. Greg says he did. They asked him, did he file charges on King? Greg said it was simple battery. Eugene asked, did he touch you? He asked him twice, 2 or 3 times. He finally says no, he didn't touch him. So why would you file charges against somebody who didn't touch you? Then you change the narrative of the story. I will say this. When King came up to you, was he wrong? Absolutely. To me, it was at the wrong place at the wrong time. If you wanted to talk to him, you could have talked to him the next day, and I still stand on that. They could have had a conversation the next day when everybody was sober and there. It was just them two. So I just felt like what Greg did, you're trying to get them off the show, is very reminiscent to Gucci doing that to Selena, and Gucci was the antagonist. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents, y'all. Greg said the things that have happened to him are serious. Nothing has happened to you, sir. This was a 2-way street. And I'm sorry, y'all have him as a psychiatrist? Like, help me to understand. Help me to understand. I think they just put anybody in psychiatry. I can't wait to finish school. This is insane. And I'm just going to school for counseling. But this is insane. And he's a psychiatrist. Okay. So, Scott asked if he wanted an apology from Quad. And I don't remember if he said yes or not. I think he said no. But then he showed him this stupid ass video singing he want to be free from the BS. And he cannot stand somebody to lie on him. And I just want Gregory to know, you look stupid. You sound stupid. And my voice is a whole lot deeper than yours. And I'm a grown ass woman. And what was so extremely annoying is the fact that your wife recorded you making a video about your ex-wife. That is some nasty work. That got to be the most ignorant thing I have ever saw. You lost me with that one, Letitia. Like, for you to stand by him to do this, like, he definitely is in her head. And he's going to break her down because she's young. She's going to waste all of her good years with him. And that, for her, I feel sorry for her. But, girl, stand up and get some self-esteem about yourself. Like, that's what irritates me. The fact that she act like she have no self-esteem. And even with her talking to Toya, talking to Mimi, it was just like an abused wife. Like, I don't know, talk to Gregory. But She's also been an abused friend too. So I don't know, y'all. That's what my take on it. I know everybody's not a fan of Sweet Tea, and I hate that he has put her in a bad position. Him and the ladies on the show have put her in a terrible position, and this lady felt like she had to come on here and fight. She has. She did not argue with Toya. I will say that. She didn't argue with Toya. She was like, listen, you do what you need to do. I'm not asking you to choose. But if you feel like you need to choose, that is up to you. I'm not going to ask you to do that. I'm not going to ask you to do that. And I just felt like this is what the ladies in the group wanted anyway. So we get to Quad's party, and Quad was like, everybody, the first rule is everybody coming, you have to have a drink, and we don't get to talk about the past. And so I feel like ultimately the group that they have is what they ultimately want. They want Phaedra gone, and she's gone. They didn't kick her out. She left. She took her stuff and yours and left. She left. So she was like, F this, I'm already contracted on RHOA, which I have not decided, y'all, if I'm going to review it, because I do not want to see Portia on my screen. Okay, we don't get a little bit of Kenya. I don't know how much of Drew we're gonna get. I really like Drew. I love Kenya, but I don't know. I don't know what this is gonna give, so I will let y'all know. Anyway, Contessa asked why aren't they talking about the past, and she said they just want to move onward and upward. And I was like, oh, okay. So Quad said, tells Toya, I'm not gonna come to your party due to certain circumstances. And again, that's G, and he filing that restraining order on, filing that complaint against King. He make you want to beat the dog piss out of him, okay? So Toya wants her to reconsider. Simone says that King apologized. And yes, King did apologize. But he apologized to the group. And they wasn't there to see or view the apology. But I guess they feel like King doesn't owe those two an apology. As long as he apologized to the group and we seen it and we're here for it and we like him and we want him on. And so Toya tells them what Tisha said. She tells them she felt like Tisha was making her choose. And she said, if I have to choose, I choose Quad. And Quad starts to cry. And I know that those two ladies have had their differences over the years. But I think this is what Quad really wanted. Heavenly says that she has respect for Toya. And Toya said that Tisha didn't take any accountability. Now, I just need to know if there is something we didn't see. Like, production isn't showing. Like, I need production to show all of those times that there was no accountability. All of those times, like, yeah, she lashed out, but just like everybody else lashed out. And not one time are we starting from the beginning. All of this is happening because y'all invited this man and his wife on the show. Production, and between y'all and production, y'all brought this man and his wife on the show. If we're going to start from the beginning. And again, when Quad came back, y'all started running back behind Quad, except for Simone. Simone was still mad at her. But now it's all of a sudden people who got into it, who were into it, are now aligning themselves. So now y'all can look like a united front and make it seem like this girl is crazy and she needs to go. So Contessa and Heavenly put her differences with Contessa on the side. They put their differences on the side. They had Dr. Mimi, Tisha brought Dr. Mimi on, And Dr. Mimi said that basically she did not hold herself accountable. Um, and Quad cries because they finally chose her. You have waited 9 years to be chosen. Like, that's wild to me. That's absolutely wild to me. But hey, whatever floats your boat, la mama. So Jackie goes over to Phaedra's house. Jackie is in her confessional saying she haven't seen Phaedra since the trip, since she called them mean girls, yada yada yada. But Jackie, you ladies are mean girls. Y'all have done so much damage that it's insane. So Jackie tells Phaedra that they hurt her. That oh yes, that Jackie tells Phaedra that we know we hurt you, um, and Phaedra tells Jackie that I know I blamed you, but it had nothing to do with you. Phaedra also tells Jackie that Heavenly do team too much, and she is the devil's daughter. Um, Jackie said in her confessional that Phaedra took zero accountability, and I'm just still trying to understand. I know we don't like Phaedra. She is not my favorite person. Again, this is karma. Remember I told y'all about karma? It circle around like a big old hole right here. But it is what it is. So I'm still trying to figure out what it is that Phaedra needs to take accountability for. Phaedra said that she doesn't trust the women. Jackie asked her to come to Toya's event, and Phaedra says she don't want to be around y'all, and she is leaving. Now on Watch What Happens Live, Simone said if you was Simone was getting on Phaedra, and this is why I don't like Simone. I think Simone is one of the most evil people I have ever met. But she did say, if you knew you was going on a show, just tell us. But yeah, and two things could be true. It could be the fact that she is going back to RHOA, but let's be clear. Y'all ain't the nicest bunch of people to be around. So I'm going to go stick with the devil I know instead of dealing with you heifers. And I just think that they feel a way about it. And it's like, you kind of can't feel a way about it. You can't make her stay. Why? So you can treat her a certain type of way. Once again, y'all are pissed off because Phaedra ain't playing y'all game. Period. She ain't playing y'all game. It was, Phaedra's here. We got Phaedra. Now, because one person feel like the same person who don't put their business out feel like this other person don't give nothing. I'm just trying to figure it out. And again, there is no accountability on what these other ladies do. But y'all want T and Faye to hold accountability. That's rich. That is definitely rich. Y'all, and this where the episode ended. At this point, I really am just ready for the what they call it, the reunion. Hopefully Letitia shows up, but I'm sure that they're going to really gang up on her. They are. I'm I don't know, y'all. This show is it's draining for me. It is definitely draining. But that is all I got. Please make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe on your way out. And please be sure to like up this channel. Y'all like it up so I can stay in the algorithm of things. And I will see y'all tomorrow for Love and Hip Hop Miami. Bye.